Welcome back to English Story Avenue, the place where words move slowly, meanings grow gently, and English becomes easy through calm stories. Take a deep breath, relax your mind, and allow this story to walk with you into a new beginning. The night was quiet in a way that felt different from other nights. The air itself seemed to pause as if it knew that something was about to change. Streets were not empty, yet they were calmer, filled with soft lights and patient footsteps. The year was ending, not with noise but with reflection. Windows glowed warmly, and behind them, people sat with thoughts they had avoided all year. Time, which usually runs fast, slowed down just enough for everyone to notice its presence. Lily stood near the window of her small room watching the sky. She was not waiting for fireworks. She was waiting for answers. The calendar on the wall showed only one day left, and that single page carried the weight of 12 long months. The year had taught him many things, but none of them had been easy. Dreams delayed, promises broken, effort unnoticed. Yet somewhere deep inside, hope still breathed. She remembered how the year had begun with excitement. New plans, fresh energy, strong confidence. She had told herself that this would be her year. But life, as always, had its own lessons. Some days were kind, most were ordinary, and a few were painfully difficult. Still, here she was, standing at the edge of time, alive, thinking, learning. Outside, a distant call to prayer echoed softly, reminding him that time moves forward whether we are ready or not. She closed her eyes and allowed memories to return, not as enemies, but as teachers. Every failure had carried a message. Every delay had protected him from something unseen. Downstairs, her mother prepared tea. The gentle sound of cups touching reminded him of comfort. She did not ask him about her plans or her worries. She simply smiled, as if she understood that some battles are fought quietly. She joined her, and together they sat without speaking. Silence in that moment felt complete. As midnight approached, phones began to vibrate with messages. Wishes filled with hope, copied words sent without thought. Lily read them slowly. She realized how often people wish happiness without understanding its meaning. Happiness was not loud. It was steady. It was surviving the year with honesty. The clock ticked forward, each second dropping like a soft footstep. She thought about all the times she had said, "I will start tomorrow." Tomorrow had come many times, but she had not. Now tomorrow was changing its name. It was becoming a new year. When the clock finally reached midnight, the world did not change instantly. The sky looked the same. The air felt the same. But something inside him shifted. Not excitement, not fear, but acceptance. A quiet agreement with herself that she would no longer wait for perfect moments. Fireworks appeared in the distance, painting the sky with brief colors. They were beautiful but short-lived. She understood then that real change does not explode. It grows slowly, like dawn. The next morning arrived calmly. Sunlight entered the room without announcement. The new year did not knock. It simply arrived. Lily woke up with no dramatic feeling, only a gentle clarity. She wrote one sentence in her notebook. Not a list, not a promise. Just one sentence. "I will be patient with my growth." Days passed. The year moved forward. Some days were productive, others were not. But something was different. She no longer punished herself for resting. She no longer compared her path with others. She learned that progress is personal. One afternoon, she met an old friend who spoke proudly about achievements. Lily listened with respect but without envy. She knew now that every life runs on a different clock. Comparing times only steals peace. As months unfolded, challenges returned, but they felt lighter. Not because they were smaller, but because she was stronger. Strength, she learned, is not loud confidence. It is quiet persistence. She failed again, but this time she did not stop. She rested, reflected, and continued. The year watched him closely, offering lessons in small moments. A missed bus taught patience. A delayed result taught trust. A kind word taught gratitude. One evening, near the end of the year, Lily found herself once again by the window. The same view, a different heart. She smiled gently. She had not achieved everything she once dreamed of, but she had achieved something more valuable. She had learned how to move forward without fear. The year was ending again, but this time it did not feel heavy. It felt complete. Not perfect, but honest. She understood now that a new year does not ask us to become new people overnight. It asks us to become better versions slowly, kindly, truthfully. The moral of this story is simple and quiet. A new year is not about loud promises or sudden changes. It is about patience, self-respect, and the courage to continue even when progress feels slow. True growth happens when we stop waiting for perfect moments and start honoring small steps. Thank you for listening to this story on English Story Avenue, where every story is a step toward better English and a better understanding of life. The story did not truly end there. Life never ends at a sentence. It continues quietly day by day. After that night, Lily began to notice small details she had ignored before. Morning light felt like a gentle invitation instead of a demand. She started waking up a little earlier, not to chase success, but to greet the day calmly. She walked more. Long walks through familiar streets showed him how much had changed. Without him noticing, old shops had new owners. Trees had grown taller. Children she once saw playing were now teenagers. Time had been moving forward patiently, teaching without speaking. Some mornings doubt returned. It knocked softly, asking questions about the future. Instead of fighting it, Lily listened. She learned that doubt is not an enemy. It is a signal asking for preparation. She wrote her fears down, not to surrender to them, but to understand them. Weeks turned into months. The new year settled into routine. Excitement faded, but commitment remained. She studied when motivation was low. She rested when exhaustion spoke. Balance slowly replaced pressure. One rainy afternoon, she helped a stranger push a broken car. It took only a few minutes, but the stranger's smile stayed with him all day. That moment taught him that purpose is often found in small kindness, not grand achievements. There were setbacks too. Plans delayed again, opportunities missed. But this time disappointment did not turn into despair. She reminded herself that delay does not mean denial. Growth sometimes happens underground, unseen. As seasons changed, Lily changed with them. Spring brought renewal, summer tested patience, autumn taught letting go, and winter offered reflection. Each season carried its own lesson, each equally important. By the time another year approached its end, Lily realized something deeply important. She was no longer afraid of time. She had learned how to walk with it instead of running against it. On the final night of the year, she stood by the same window once more. The city looked familiar, but her heart felt lighter. She smiled, not because everything was perfect, but because she had learned how to continue. She understood that every new year is not a miracle moment. It is a quiet reminder that we are allowed to begin again, gently, honestly, and patiently. The moral becomes clearer with time. A meaningful life is not built on loud resolutions, but on silent consistency. When we accept our pace, respect our journey, and continue despite uncertainty. Every year becomes a teacher and every day becomes progress. Thank you for staying with this slow story on English Story Avenue. May your new year be calm, patient, and full of steady growth.